Welcome to the CFG Gamecast, episode number 4, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. I am Davis Green with CFG Games, and with me are a group of fellow gamers. I have Sesh Evans, a huge gamer and awesome Twitch streamer, aka the Backlog Queen. How are you doing?
Doing well, working on my backlog as always.
Yes. So, how far have you dwindled it down to so far?
People have. I made the stupid mistake of doing a Twitter poll of what I should play next, and it's actually going to be Chris's game of Resident Evil 1, the remake, before going back and playing through 2 another time. So I'm back to that.
You were like hardcoring it up on Resident Evil as of late. You know that, right? You're like, Jesus.
I mean, it's the series that got me into gaming, like to be obsessed on my own. So yeah, it's only fair that I do that for this series because it's given me so much.
Have you played Zero yet, or the one on GameCube?
Well, yeah.
Oh,
like
okay.
I'm playing the remastered version of 1, which I did originally play. Usually I do blind runs, so like. This one's going to be a little weird for me, and the next one, when I play through 2 again, the remake of 2 again, it's going to be a little weird for me, because usually, like I said, blind runs where I haven't played the game before, but I wanted to update myself, play it again nice and fresh for the sequel, the remake, and people wanted me to play Chris, which, I will tell you, I'm not huge into RPGs, specifically like item management. I hate item management, and Chris is making me mad.
Okay, I don't blame you. That's how it usually goes, really, to be honest with you. So, but that's okay. And I have Smitty is out today, so I have an awesome replacement. I have a super collector who does amazing unboxing videos for CFG Games and is a huge video game nerd. I have Franky in the third seat. How are you doing, buddy?
Doing super. How you doing?
Yeah, it's nice. So what have you been up to, man? It's been a bit.
Yeah, I have been playing Sekiro a lot. I am loving that game, and I know you've been playing it too for the stream.
Oh God!
And I haven't been able to catch it myself, so I'm gonna eventually catch up and watch where you've been doing. So you might be further than I am. I have no idea, but
I am not. I am nowhere near like I am like at the what's it called? Like I'm in the dream or the flashback, the very first one. So yeah, I'm at the very beginning. Yeah,
I mean it took me 13 hours and 53 minutes to get to the first boss.
Yeah, that's really it's insane.
Grinding and doing all this other stuff, but yeah, I've been playing that, and then much like Sesh, I'm trying to do backlog stuff too, and my backlog is about 1,000 games or so. I'm going a little slow on that one. I've been playing Parasite Eve 2, and and I love the game, except I was trying to get the best ending, but I made one little mistake in it, and I screwed it up. So now I'm going to be getting a bad ending, but
and you're going to have to do it again. And you know what? I didn't like Parasite Eve. I didn't like number 2 as much as I liked number 1. Number 1 was one of my favorites.
1 was an amazing game, fantastic game, well written, awesome music, gameplay. 2 was just such a disappointment because it went through, to go with that whole like Resident Evil formula, like, oh, it's a survival horror now. Like, it wasn't bad. Like playing it again now in retrospect, I'm like, okay, this game isn't bad. It's just not what I wanted back in 2000.
What about Third Birthday?
I have not got to sit down and play that at all. I've owned it, and it's still sealed on my shelf. And that's why I'm actually playing through 2 right now. I want to play through 2, so I can go straight to Third Birthday after this. So,
okay.
Right, you got to play them all in order.
Yeah, I got to do it in order.
Exactly.
This might be a little random, but I just realized the spelling of your name, Franky, so I just have to ask and probably confirm that this is a One Piece reference.
Yes, it is a One Piece reference, but I mean, my name is Franky. And like I go by Franky. I've always had before One Piece was a thing. So, but yeah.
His mom was a really good foresight person. That's exactly what it
was. Hey, my middle name's Oda, so hey.
Oh no, it isn't. Is it?
It really is.
Oh my gosh.
I think.
Wait, who's your dad?
I think I'm older. Am I older? I'm about the same age as Oda Ichiro.
His dad is Gold D. Abraham. Oh God. Okay. And and Sesh, where do people need to go to check out your content on Twitch?
Oh gosh, well, Twitch, you want to go to Review Sesh. I am still holding down that name. I stream consistently, but if you can't find me there, you'll definitely be able to interact with me on my Instagram, which is Seshy EV. So that's Seshy with a Y and then EV. Or my Twitter, which is Sesh M Evans.
Perfect.
So Sesh Mevans.
Mevans, yes. And Franky, if you want to do any plugs for you too?
Well, mainly, as Davey said, I do unboxings on CFG, so make sure you do check us out at CFG at conferencegeek.com and check out the unboxings. The most recent ones we have is one for, oddly enough, like Sesh brought up, One Piece World Seeker. I did an unboxing for the Gum Gum edition, which was a Bandai Namco exclusive. And then we did one for, which I brought up, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice Collector's Edition unboxing, which was a GameStop exclusive. So check that out. Yeah, and then sometimes I stream on my own personal stream, which is at Twitch. It's going to be Supa_Franky.
Yes, perfect. And if you want to see a grown man cry, watch the Sekiro unboxing. It's funny.
Oh man, like that box, it 10 minutes to just get the figure out almost. I mean, come on, it was insane. It was badly designed, but it is a cool box. Definitely watch that unboxing.
Yeah, it's freaking crazy.
See me cry, yeah.
Great. And as always, you can also check the awesome content that we do over at CFG Games, which is twitch.tv/CFG Games. Like Franky said, I am doing Sekiro, and then we usually do a weekly RPG with friends on Sundays. So definitely check us out and see what you think. But enough of the formalities. Let's get into it. Each of us chooses a news topic of discussion within video games. The topic could be about a specific game or something that happened in the gaming industry, what have you. We will discuss it. If you like the discussions, you can give us a follow on Podbean. And actually, update now, we are on iTunes and Google Play and Stitcher, so you can also check us out there to keep up to date on our episodes on here. And even you can email us a topic or just go on our Twitch, our Twitter, The Comic Freak, to just respond. And then if it's a topic that is perfect for what we're wanting to talk about, we will discuss your topic on our next podcast. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing. Let's see.
We haven't gotten any of those yet, huh?
I got one, but it was a little late. It was a little too old. And I was thinking, but definitely I want more. Well, yeah, it was about like a month old, so I was just like, no, I don't think we're gonna do it. So yeah, it would be too late. But thank you for that. Whoever did bring that out, it's always open, and we'll definitely get into it more. But I think I started last week, so why don't we give it to Sesh, and then Franky, you can go next to kind of get the lay of the land, So, okay, Sesh. So,
yeah, I was a little worried you'd send him in blind.
Oh, I would not.
Hey, I've been listening to the show. I know what's going on.
Yes.
Okay, you're good then. You'll be fine then.
I'm down. All right.
Perfect.
So, I just read this little piece about a youth esports team, which we've kind of heard of before. There's been some college campuses that do this. I'm very familiar with the UC Irvine esports team and the esports league that they have, especially since it's Smash Brothers related. And a bunch of different colleges around the country have started to do this, and it's starting to become a high school club. And so this is for kids, I believe, through, let me look at my notes. I think it's 3rd through 5th grade. I may have to double check on that. But it stood out to me because a lot of the other ones are the entity themselves are the ones that are making this club, and they're reaching out to these different organizations to do it. This one is a different activity for the Boys and Girls Club of Newport Beach.
Interesting.
So they've reached this like larger kids club group that's out there, which I thought was really interesting and really fun. They ended up, taking over a gymnasium, and they set up a Super Smash Brothers Ultimate tournament for all the kids to play. So I always really like these, and I wanted to bring this up as a conversation just to talk about kids playing these games, and it makes a huge mention of the idea that none of the kids are benched. Like, there is no bench in this league. Like, literally everyone plays, everyone gets to play. It's a boys and girls club session. Like, you don't just sit out. Like, it's not like other, I don't want to say more competitive, but more like specific kids clubs. Like, this one is like everyone participates, you get your money's worth, the kids get to have the fun. And I've always really liked that, especially I think video games do that really well for a lot of different kids, where basically everyone can play them. And having it in a club environment, because I do think like sports is really healthy, like that competitive edge, learning how to lose, learning how to improve yourself and practice, and like have all those things like actually just be able to like manifest and make you a better little person is great for children.
Better little person.
Back when I was a kid, if I had that, it would have been like a dream come true.
Exactly.
That would have been like I would have been thinking about that every day at school, waiting for that day to come. To go to this club, go and play games, be competitive, and that there was nothing like that when I was a kid. Like, it was play Nintendo at home after school, or
right. And like with our, I think I'm gonna assume your age a little bit along with our ages too, and assume that how amazing it was once like we were finally able to play online and play with friends, and like what a big deal that was. And now like I'm sure a lot of us have made friends specifically through gaming.
Oh, definitely. Well, I guess I'm just is this a club that's just saying that it's like a club where people are just playing games, or is this like when they're saying esports? That's where I'm getting kind of wondering about. Like, is it saying like it's a team?
Right, like I think it's going to be tournaments from the sound of it. So this is less of a league, less of like there's the other one out there, Super League, and they have different age brackets. And Super League does League of Legends. Like they've been allowed to play, like they've been licensed to hold these tournaments and be sponsored and do all these other things. Even though League of Legends owns everything about their tournament series, like a lot of like I'm old school Smash Brothers, so Nintendo has no part in it, like until kind of recently. And even for the most part, just Ultimate. So that company, though, Super League, like they also do like Minecraft, which is like non-competitive in that way, even though like they still find ways to make it challenging and plays for different age groups really well. Because little kids like absolutely, I mean everyone loves it. It's a highly addictive game, and you give like a kid the ability to like make whatever they want once they learn how, and they'll go nuts with it. Like, it's very addicting.
Right.
But this one they do start seasons, like they have their clubs. I don't know what their overall format is going to be. It doesn't mention specifically what games, but it's a club fee, and it's literally starting in like 10 days. It's April 15th, like they're doing this. And I think it is going to be expanded to some of the other boys and girls clubs, but like, hey, if you're in the area, Newport Beach, you got a kid,
I'm just saying that it's kind of like, I'm kind of 50-50 on it myself, personally. I think it depends on the grade, like how old you are. I mean, like, cause like how this sounds like, cause don't get me wrong. I mean, like League of Legends and stuff, you need to be in it does require you to, be in a team setting, and then you have to, communicate and stuff like that. But this seems like a kind of like an after school program. I mean, after school program that allows you to play games and stuff like that.
The way they describe this one is going to be like an after-school tournament.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want to have someone that's in third grade to be doing that every week, though. Like, I understand that, and I'm just saying, maybe me, because I'm older enough to kind of see the and especially, I mean, I'm a gaming kid, but we're I mean, it's safe to say that we were all there at the beginning of gaming, so of video gaming, but like, you already know the pull of a kid getting into games like, Fortnite and stuff like that. But there's a certain level where I don't know if I could just say, okay, we could do this at a weekly basis, and we go to these tournaments and stuff. Someone that's at third grade, fourth grade, and stuff like that too. There's a level of age where I would be like, okay, you know what, you're in middle school, I'm down with that. We could set the time, but there's a level where I don't know if I'm comfortable enough to be bringing the kid to the gaming like that constantly.
Well, I'd say that they're, depending on how addicted they are, it could be channeled well. Like that would be my opinion. It totally depends on the kids and how they're acting. But also,
is it actually weekly, or is it like a bi-weekly, monthly? Like, did it actually say weekly setup?
Let's see. It does say somewhere.
Like, if it was, I can understand it being like the monthly thing.
Like, if it was a monthly thing, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like, oh man, you know,
every child can participate in one game per week.
Okay, so they have the option to. So it'd be on the parent to be like, okay, you can play this one type game, like, you know.
And they basically provide, they provide all the equipment, which is great too, because, I mean, not to dive too much into your topic, but what I think you might be bringing up as your topic talked about, like a yearly fee, annual fee, and some of these things are just not affordable for a lot of people. Yeah. And so you'd be able to get that with something that at much cheaper of a cost than you would otherwise for these kids. Plus, it's something to socialize with, and the tournament experience, and it's a tournament experience where it's a kids club, so you're not going to need like the kind of supervision, because like absolutely, like you could bring I've seen kids like these ages at Smash tournaments a bunch, actually, like a lot more, especially with like the last two games. And so I've seen them there. I see them at Vegas too, at Evo and like all these other places. And they have to have their parents escorting them. Like, it's not really something like you can necessarily just drop your kids off like you would be able to at like a boys and girls club, you know?
I don't think, I personally don't think I would want to do this for a child. I mean, I'm not being a jerk. I just know the whole, like, I mean, yeah, it's cool to do that. It's cool to have a place where you meet other people that are into that kind of thing. But I don't know. That might be too much. That might be a little too much for someone too young, is what I'm saying. Like, I think the
totally
level
depend on the age.
Yeah, I believe the level of age would be the big factor. Like, you said that it was third. Like, I think one of the parts that you were saying, it was like third grade, as low as third grade.
Let me. Yeah, I think that might be the lowest. I'll have to scan the article a little bit for the exact age, but like, it's a good kid's age. I mean, it's, you know, the same age you'd go to like a summer camp or a day camp or that boys and girls club. Actually,
yeah, but that's still too much.
And I'm sure
gaming.
too, like. But they're going to cater it too. Like, if your kid's already playing games at home, if they're already doing this thing, like...
Yeah, but there's a difference, though. Because the difference is that you have more control of doing what you need to do, like saying, hey, you need to shut off and play in the game and do your homework or whatever. Like, I can understand if it was something like you could use it as a reward kind of thing, you know? Like, it's like, hey, you got... Because, like, hey, you got straight... You did really well at school. Because of that, we'll do that this week or whatever, you know? Like, periodical kind of thing.
Totally. It could be something like that too, but at the same time it could be I want to play more video games. No, you have homework to do. You already played for your day. We just got back from the club.
Yeah, that's just the level of good parenting at that point, and then that's another half of that conversation. But I don't know, like. I don't know if that's just people, if the Boys and Girls Club is kind of going on the bandwagon of gaming is cool. That gaming is cool and it's fun and it's accepted now. But like, it needs to, like, I don't know. I think I would need to see more structure for me to be totally fine to say to be like that. Because I mean, and also, who's to say that your kid might be good, but who's the other kid? The other kid that might be crazy. You know,
I mean, you get that with everything, just taking your kids to school or anything.
Yeah.
This was it was a little long-winded of an article. It was, I would say, written for parents, where it describes esports.
When they brought this whole thing up, like, you know, you said Boys and Girls Club and all that. Now, is it just supported by the Boys and Girls Club? Is it only, you know, kids that are in the Boys and Girls Club that can participate?
This is saying it's the Boys and Girls Club kids.
Okay, so it's only it's not like I have a child and I want him to join. They can just join. They have to be part of the Boys and Girls Club. And isn't that like select children, like, you know, like at-risk children and kids in need?
Right, like that's correct? More of like a kids in need, so it's not even
for everyone. Areas. It's for those kids that might need this to, you know, help socialize.
Right, like more, yeah,
so
exactly.
It actually works better, if anything, for that. It's not going to just be like, you know, my kid's a normal everyday kid that has a normal life and doesn't have problems, he's not going to go and do this.
Yeah. I mean, the opening line is, with guidance from the startup, Bravos Youth Esports, the elementary school age kids of the Newport Clubhouse learned, rocked, whooped, yipped, and narrated their progress as they played Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's an association, it's an event. I thought it was very interesting that it's a bigger association that does more good, and it's a little bit less exclusive. Getting into that too, because I could name a handful of people just off the top of my head who them having video games and being able to play with their friends kept them doing that instead of doing other stuff they shouldn't have been doing outside of their homes in the areas that they were in that the other kids got into instead.
And it helps those kids to have, like, a lot of those kids have social problems, and this is a big social event that will get them all like having one thing in common to communicate with. You know,
I'm not denying that. Right. Oh, I'm definitely not denying that. I'm just thinking that, but then you're also looking at the aspect of like when is too much is what I'm looking at. Like it's very true. Because like there's always a balance, and then you're totally right. Like you're meeting people that are interested in what you're interested in, and I'm totally for that. But I'm just saying that like if they do it like if the way I'm thinking of it, this is either it could be a weekly or two events a week or whatever. You know, it's like after school. They said you mentioned this was an after school program. It could be a lot of different kinds of things.
Once a week thing. So I think it's just starting up, so it's gonna change over time. And there are like a lot of other after school programs. And,
I just think that
college clubs and high school clubs. Right. I hear what you're saying.
In the high school level and in the middle school level makes sense. It's fine because they have already kind of established kind of level of establishment of what they like to do and what they are into, and I'm perfectly fine at a higher like age. I'm just saying at a younger level is where my beef is. It's like I don't know if I would want to start at that low at third to fifth. It's like that's 7 years old. That's 7 to 8 years old and stuff. And
I started when I was younger than that.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah. So I mean, like if you're a kid that's already playing games, like. Yeah. Your parents, when you're home, they could tell you no. Like, that's up to the parent. But to give them a club to go make friends and to play in, like, I'd say, like, a more healthy environment where there's, like, literal coaches. There's people who could help you and develop and help, like, socialize and kind of cater the whole event. Like, that's... I think that's a much better way to play than like randomly being like one of these kids that's playing Fortnite right now or like Minecraft alone, and like just being able to do it as like a group is I think super beneficial. Mm-hmm. Like I'm always a big supporter of these kinds of things. Like the kids are gonna want to play anyways, and damn it, all these kids need to socialize too. So might as well like combine those two things.
Okay, well that's cool. Yeah, it's a good topic. Okay, so we gotta cut it short because it's been a bit. But
parenting though.
Parenting indeed. All right, Franky, it's your time to shine. What topic do you have on the table?
All right. Well, my topic. You brought it up for a moment before, but about a month ago, Nintendo announced the Nintendo Labo VR. You guys are familiar with Labo. Labo is cardboard with a program, like and they announced a VR setup, which seemed interesting. I wasn't too interested in it, but this week they announced that on April 25th they're going to be releasing 2 free updates. These updates include you could play the entirety of the game, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, in VR. So you'll be able to play your old game. They'll do a free update. As well as they're going to be making exclusive levels in VR for Super Mario Odyssey. So that alone raised my interest because of 2 reasons. One, like looking at Labo, like I'm a Nintendo fanatic. Davies can vouch for that. I love Nintendo. I buy almost anything that comes out. I did not buy Labo. It wasn't for me. I respect it. It's going to be good for kids, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, a way to interact with your children. It's not a thing for me. The moment they announced actual game content like this to work with VR, just lets me think of the future possibilities. I mean, you could play the entirety of The Legend of Zelda in VR. I can only imagine what future stuff, what are they going to do? A first person Pikmin game in VR where you could point and click your Pikmin around? How cool could that be? And also the fact that like games will have exclusive content, like Super Mario Odyssey getting special new levels only if you have the Nintendo Labo, which in one way sucks for people that aren't going to buy a Labo. They're missing out on probably cool, fun content, but at the same time, it's making me want to buy one.
Yeah.
That's how they get you.
Okay.
I mean, even if they don't get you, like you still said you respect, the Labo.
Exactly.
You respect the cardboard.
I respect the cardboard.
Respect the cardboard. Hashtag respect the cardboard. That's what it would be with. Hashtag respect the cardboard. But the biggest thing I want to know is like what makes this VR is where I want to know, because like I can understand like Oculus or PlayStation, the PlayStation VR and stuff. They have mechanics to make a VR, but what makes the Labo, a piece of cardboard, turn your game into a VR scenario?
So it's more so than like like you've seen those like what is it like I think they're like Android or not Android, Google.
Yeah, the glasses.
Yeah.
The glasses that are like cardboard that you just put your phone in or something. It's more than that. Like there is actually some like actual like lenses and plastic pieces in this that you attach, and then you slide your Switch inside of it, and your Switch will split the screen in two. So you're gonna have your like left screen and right screen, and then it's gonna do the whole combining thing to give you that 3D aspect. And then of course it has a gyro sensoring, so you can move your head around and do all that. So it's very rudimentary, but at the same time you can get similar experiences you can get with like Gear VR and stuff. The only thing I'm worried about, and they haven't shown exactly how now, all like the Labo kit, the VR kit, they showed like, oh, it comes with like an elephant that you like, an elephant tusk, and like a bird and all these other accessories that you attach to the glasses to do all these mini games, like a gun that you attach to the front of it to where you aim like a bazooka and shoot like a super scope. The only issue is that all of these accessories hold the goggles up for you. So instead of it being something you strap around your head, it's more like you're holding the goggles up to play the games. So I'm wondering, how do normal games work? There's no strap.
Oh, no.
How are you going to play The Legend of Zelda with, the classic controller? Or anyway, they haven't shown anything on that. So that's a mystery to me right now.
What was that weird old VR thing with the stand? And you
Virtual
just,
Boy?
But
I have one right next to me.
Oh my gosh,
like it's 2 feet away.
Yeah, the virtual.
That's all I'm picturing right now.
Yes, it actually looks a lot like the Virtual Boy. They just had to paint it red and you're set.
Wow. That's crazy. But I mean, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm really, I'm not a big fan of VR in general, but like 3D in general. But like it's just so weird to me that's like, well, when's Zelda coming out? Is there a date or?
So the actual Labo kit comes out next week on the 12th. So you get the kit and everything on the 12th. The updates for Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild are on April 25th, and they're free updates. For The Legend of Zelda, the cool thing is you don't have to, it's not like a mode where you have to choose it and it may have some limitation stuff. You can actually just go into your settings and turn on VR mode, and you can play with your current save file. The only issue, I guess, is that the pre-rendered cutscenes don't work in VR because they can't split, I guess, due to 3D and split, view on the Switch with it. So that's the only limitation of anything. But yeah, it comes on the 25th.
And how much is the Labo set?
The Labo set is $79.99.
My gosh.
So yeah, so I mean but I mean, let's consider that comes with the headset gear and all that, and all the different parts. Like I said, there's like let me see how many were there.
Except the holder.
It comes with yeah. That's what I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna work with the games, but it has the VR goggles where you just hold it in your face, and then there's a blaster. There's a camera with like an aperture. You can actually change the aperture and turn it around.
Wow.
And then they have an elephant, which is a weird one, but it's an elephant head. They have a bird where you look up the bird's butt. And then they have a wind pedal, which I'm not sure what the wind pedal does. It looks like, like a drum for your drums, but a drum pedal.
And you're going to get it?
That is a lot.
I am now. So like I told you, I was not interested in the Labo, right? I caved in and purchased it yesterday. I bought all the old Labo sets because now I need to own them all because I'm like, and
because
Target
you're crazy.
I am crazy. Well, the thing is, Target this week alone, Target had all of them on sale for only $20.
Oh, not bad.
They're normally like $70 sets.
Yeah, they're like 40. Yeah, they're pretty pricey.
That's barely caving.
Yeah. So I paid like $65 for all 3 sets. So I have, that didn't really faze me much. That's like the price of a brand new normal game for all 3 VR sets. And I'll probably never open them. They're going to go in the box in the shelf and be like, I own this.
But that's the VR my thing.
Yeah, that's my thing. But the VR one, I'm actually going to open and play with just because, like, I love VR. Like, I bought, I have PlayStation VR. I have a Windows mixed reality, and I play I'm brain farting the game. The music game with the lightsabers, saber.
Oh yeah,
Beat Sabers.
Yeah.
Beat Saber. I play Beat Saber and download a bunch of songs. And that's a good workout regimen. It's awesome.
That game's amazing for that.
So good for that.
I don't know. It's still it's still 50-50 for me. Well, not even really 50-50. It's not going to happen for me. But like
it's not going to happen.
It's funny to me that they decided. I mean, I guess the cool thing is, like you said, I think the cool thing that gives the appeal with Labo is that they're actually bringing full games into the mix of it, as opposed to the small, small tidbit ones. But like the bigger thing is that like they need to be more they need to be consistent about doing that. But
true.
But how much? Like out there would be more of a better experience. Like I mean, like when Labo first came out, it was its own thing. But then they were slowly transitioning when they said, "Hey, you can use Labo for Mario Kart 6, Mario Kart 8, and stuff like that." Mm-hmm. But then, like since that time, it's been pretty
nothing.
It's been pretty blank, So like it's like they need to keep that kind of fuel going to say, "Hey, we're spending $80 on cardboard and all these different kinds of things." But then like you need to give us a little bit more on what we can do after we're done building this. Like we have the short term fun is building it, and then after that it's like, well, okay, now what? Yeah,
you get like 5-minute mini games that last you like a day, if that.
Which is
so. And that's exactly why I was not interested. Like the building it was the thing. You'd spend hours building these things, and it's a good way to, if you have a child, which I do not have one, so I am one. I mean, I don't need one. But I mean, you build it with your child. The experience you spend with your time with your child, you're teaching them, how to do things like that, and then you play a little game as a thing, and that's cool. But this, and like I was bringing up, is just the fact that they're adding future content. I can only imagine that they make like a new normal game and then say, hey, it has VR compatibility. I can only hope, and I'm gonna give it a chance and hope Nintendo pulls through on keeping future titles to be supported by the VR kit.
Yeah.
I hope so. Like they tend to lean towards you getting your money's worth with a lot of their products. So hopefully more will be VR able.
Yeah,
VR able. Yes.
VR able. That's the best way of describing it. Yes, but yeah, totally. But I guess it's the cup of tea. Definitely give it a shot. Then I guess you gotta take some photos of you wearing it, because that's some perfect blackmail photos. It's just in my mind.
Hey, you know what? Why don't I just do an unboxing of the Labo kit? Let's go ahead and say that.
You should do an unboxing of you, not really of you building it, as opposed to and maybe short. Maybe cut time it to like certain things of it, but like, yeah, I don't think it's very prevalent to see like, oh, hey, let me open up a box and then you just see cardboard slabs. Yeah, just pulling out.
This is your life.
Yeah,
Man, $80 for all this cardboard in a cart. That's awesome.
Yeah, right. So like, I mean, but yeah, maybe if you build one or a couple of stuff, if you decide opening up the other ones, but like overall, it's just it's a cool gimmick, and then I think it's a fun gimmick for kids. It's meant for kids.
It is meant for kids.
Yeah,
and
so
I'm a kid at heart.
Yeah, and you are definitely a kid at heart. So that's why I'm not really knocking it that it exists and stuff, but like.
That's exactly
okay, cool. I guess I mean, like last week.
That's exactly how I've been for the past year.
I find it very Nintendo. Like it
is very Nintendo.
Like, it's very Nintendo. Like it's just something like you said, like for kids.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you were totally right. So I mean, it's something that Nintendo would do. You would never see like another company decide to say, yes, let's find a way to get profits for these cardboard spots, and then for our technological game. And it's awesome how far they've gone too with it. So I mean, it's very interesting. I'm just looking forward to someone that actually has bought Labo. Like now, since I know you did, I'm gonna have to see what you think of it. To see what the whole experience is for it, because some of that stuff like the piano, like
now that's like the best looking one.
Yeah, that's honestly, crazy. Yeah. So I mean, I'm like, wow. But like then when I think about it, I'm like, oh, this is just like the big problem with Nintendo, just extra accessories that you use maybe once or twice and then you'll never use it again. That's so that's the one thing I'm only worried about. But that's cool.
Yeah, I have many Wii wheels and zappers.
Yeah.
I have those lying around, and I barely use those things.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of just something Nintendo's been doing for a very long time.
Nintendo's been like in that accessories game since like GameCube.
Remember, they're originally a toy company. That's their thing. They did cards and toys, and this is a toy.
Yeah, but come on,
with cardboard.
But like at the end, yeah, I guess it is. That's true. They're going back to their roots. They're going back to their roots.
They're going back to their roots. I'm sure they had cardboard toys back in the day, back in like the early 1900s. Who knows?
Yeah, it's like that's a tagline. It's like Nintendo bringing back the 1900s.
back in the 1900s.
Yeah, so it's funny. We'll see how that goes. I mean, let me know how it goes, and hopefully you won't. We'll see. I just want to see how it's going to if it answers your questions about mounting and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm most curious about, because nothing has shown any type of like strap or head mount. It's all of them is like you carrying something underneath it to keep the whole headset set. But like I don't know how you're supposed to play an actual game using normal controllers. So I guess we'll find out when that happens.
Okay, sounds good. Alrighty. All right, good topic. And all right, so now it is the best for last is my topic. So now this isn't guaranteed, but there is speculation on this topic. So I like speculated topics because it kind of gives us an open window of what should we expect, or what could they do, or what would they do and stuff. So hey, as far as we know, it may or may not happen, and if it does, then it's all good. And it would be like, hey, I know the gaming industry really well. If not, then we'll be like, oh, you're stupid. So, but it's just no in between. So, but I liked opinionated pieces. So I found one. Actually, I found several that just came out yesterday about Xbox, because we all know that Xbox isn't hasn't had the best time in this generation's consoles for the most part. But
where's their cardboard?
Yeah, I know, right? Yes, exactly. But the biggest thing is that the thing that's been their saving grace that they've been working on was their Game Pass. Game Pass has been working very well for them. And now since they're building proprietary gaming companies within their wing, it's a promising thing that they're going to expand on. So I found on a rumor mill article saying that Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is rumored to be merging with Microsoft's gaming perks. So what that means is that you can get a bundled deal between Xbox Gold, your online pass, as well as being a part of the Xbox Game Pass thing. So from what I've gathered, because I got this information from DualShockers, and they're saying that you can get the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, that's equivalent, which is going to be Xbox Live Gold and Xbox Game Pass for $14.99 a month, which basically is $5 cheaper than what the normal Xbox Gold Pass is, which is $19.99 a month. Excuse me. So if they do that, now there's no dates, or there's no kind of verification that if they're going to be doing an Ultimate Pass for throughout the year. I'm assuming there will be eventually, but from the information that they have, that the next step is to merge their Game Pass with their online passes. So I personally, when I heard that, I was like, you know what, that actually logically makes sense, because since they're bringing the Xbox One SAD in the mix of it, it has to be online and it has to be digital. So how can if they make a bundle deal with just a digital only game bundle with the online pass, I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, you might as well just go with it. Plus, you have access to the extra games. It kind of feels like I'm selling Xbox to people, but I'm not.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, actually, when it comes to Xbox Live Gold, the gold membership, just the gold membership, is actually $10 a month.
Is it 10? Oh yeah, my mistake.
It's 10.
Okay, so $10 a month.
I think it's 20. I think it's 25 for 3 months, and then it goes up from there.
Let's see. Let me make sure. I'm gonna verify while I do that. So, but basically, they're giving you a discount. From what I'm gathering, they're saying they're giving you a discount, because I don't know how much is Xbox Gamer Pass.
That's the thing. Gamer Pass, though, I think is normally. Oh, is it 10 also? I think it's 10 also, so it would normally be $20.
It would be $20
so
total, but just saving $5.
Yeah.
Okay, so
you're saving $5 for them both together. That's what you're doing.
So that's what you're doing monthly. So yeah, okay. So $14.99. That's how you got the 14. That's how I got the $14.99. Okay, that makes sense then. So so in my opinion, I think that this is a good move. I personally thought that if this is the way that they're going to have to go to kind of keep it competitive at their best, and then have a foot to go to when the next gen system comes, that it's like, okay, they have infrastructure of what they've been doing to give people gaming, like multiple games for a monthly price, but for this kind of fee. So I just wanted to think what y'all thought about them doing leasing out their doing this model for game releasing.
I think that could be. Oh, you go first.
You go, Sesh. You go.
Nah, you go. You're the guest.
Okay, I'm the guest. All right.
You're more of a guest.
I'll go ahead and take it. So, well, first off, like when it comes to Game Pass, I actually think it's a fantastic thing. Like, it's not for me because, like we brought up before, I'm materialistic as heck. So, like, I need to own things. That's all digital. But in all honesty, for the price you pay and the fact that you get like their first party games at release, you get a bunch of older games, other companies release games just a few months after release on Game Pass. It's a really good deal for what you pay. And just to be able to do that with Xbox Live at a discount, I see no problem with that. The only thing I want to see is what the pricing looks like for set up for a year. Mm-hmm. So like right now, Xbox Live for a year is discounted at $60. I believe Game Pass for a year is at $100. So I presume they're going to have a bundled price less than $160, maybe like $130 or something or even cheaper for both of them. And something like that, I can see it being well worth it just for the convenience of just putting all my games on a hard drive and just, booting them up right away.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I don't know. I haven't had Xbox Game Pass myself personally, but I don't know how this works. So when you get the Game Pass, do you download the game and then onto your system, and then are you good for are you going to theoretically? Is it kind of like how PlayStation Plus does
exactly like PlayStation Plus?
Oh,
yes. You download the entirety of the game on your hard drive, and you can play it as much as you want, as long as you have Game Pass.
But what if you delete? What if you delete it? Because Game Pass they cycle through games monthly. So so let's say you bought a game, you downloaded a game the previous month, and then the next month they don't have that game available, and you downloaded it on your system, and then let's say you need to clear out the space. Do you lose the game, or do you have to?
The thing is, I don't think Game Pass has recycled games yet, have they? I don't think they have. I think every game that's been released on Game Pass has stayed on Game Pass.
So it stayed on Game Pass. Okay.
Yeah, it's not. I think PlayStation Now does revolving stuff, but I believe Game Pass, as of right now, is just everything is whatever's put on there stays on there.
Okay,
and is available.
So that's even that makes it even more worth it then at that point. So if that's
more appealing.
Yeah, so okay, so then that's fine. I just don't know because I didn't want to feel like I had the if I was an Xbox owner and I didn't want to feel like I was leasing the game. The big thing is, do I feel like I'm leasing the game? If I'm leasing the game, do I feel like I have to get pressure to finish this game, or do I have the freedom to say, let me put this aside for a bit while I play this game that I've been wanting to play, and then come back to it later,
Different version of renting it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the biggest.
I mean, it pretty much is that. It's a better type of renting. You know?
So it's like you own it, but there's not the material for it. I'm kind of like the same as you, where I do like things up on the shelf. I haven't gotten too particular with it. When I do get, because I have had PlayStation Plus, so I'll have the games that are just on the hard drive. But I like shelf games too.
You know what?
Yeah, it reminds me of GameFly a little bit, but more so of the PlayStation Pass, where you could just download it. Because I'm gonna assume that they're gonna be games. I'm just gonna assume it's gonna be games that are either they're not a full game, not like a demo, but just smaller indie games, or that they're older games.
And I'm sure there will be specific instances where specific licensed games that maybe they're taking off the actual store in general because of some licensing reason. I'm sure those games might not work because you still have to have Game Pass, and I don't know if you could play offline or not, actually. And you might be able to play offline as long as you know, like it detects how long your Game Pass is good till.
Yeah.
But I presume that like if a game gets delisted for whatever reason, that game won't be playable through Game Pass anymore. Like,
that's really interesting. That's kind of like, because with PlayStation. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You go.
I was gonna say, with PlayStation, like you download them and you play them. Like the pressure to keep paying is so you can download more games, more good ones, because there's almost like, you know, one like real good one each month, and then like a good handful of other like fun games that are just, you know, smaller games. So, but you have it, like it's on your hard drive. Then you have it. You just can't. Yeah, like you just would miss your opportunity to get it if you're not paying the fees when it's time to get it.
Right. So I mean, like, but the fact that they're infusing the monthly, the Xbox Gold, which is their online, to this program, just makes it just strengthens their resolve on it. I mean, it just seems like Xbox, they found a really good system on there for the most part for their digital content, and also a really a win-win situation for their games if they don't cycle it through. They instead of recycling, they're just adding to the library. I mean, like it's going to get to a point where it's like, why should I get buy a physical copy or a digital copy of that one specific game when I have that, you know?
It's mainly because of the fact that like newer games usually aren't on there. Like Microsoft official games get on there day one. Otherwise, like Square Enix has released games on there, but it was like 3 or 4 months after the game came out. So you have that 3 or 4 months of like, oh, I could have played the game when it came out type thing. You know,
that is true, but this is where I'm saying though, like where they originally where Microsoft is at right now is that they've they've putting money on getting proprietary, like their own, you know, first party studios. So like, yes, I mean, so like what we're seeing right now, where we're at right now is the seeds of the process. But like, this is what we're seeing at the beginning. But then let's say 3 or 4 years from now, like when they actually starting to get those seeds are starting to, you know, grow and become their own, you know, their own entities, that they are going to just strengthen Xbox Gamer Pass for this. I mean, like, it just seems like when you have Ninja Theory now is an Xbox exclusive. They make their own games. I mean, they now the only way you're going to get that is through Xbox Game Pass or just buying their own Microsoft Xbox program, Xbox itself, you know, or PC. But we'll see.
Exactly. I mean, like that's what this is. This is all a precursor to things to come. For example, one thing is they have that new Xbox One S All Digital Edition that's coming out.
Oh, that's what I just said. Xbox One SAD.
Yeah, Xbox One SAD. Yes, exactly. The Xbox One SAD's coming out. And this is the kind of thing that those people are going to want because it's all digital. You just download your games and you can play as much as you want. And also with the Scarlet, and I forgot the other code name, but they have the 2 new Xbox systems coming out for their next gen. I'm fairly sure one of those are going to be also an all digital version. That's why they're doing this, as well as a disc version. And this is just a way to get people more excited to, and you know, wanting to continue paying for both while they get this new systems. Because it'd be like, oh, the new system's coming out. We have all these like 30 game studios we bought in the past 6 months, and we're making all these games because. Think of it, like, what was this? Starting last year, they started buying all these studios. So by the time the new systems come out, it's going to be maybe roughly 3 years. And those companies probably already have some games ready to bust out near, you know, the system's release.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right with all that. And easing them into it. Yeah, I agree. It is a precursor. Like, it's definitely like easing people into like the idea of like, just digital, just downloading them. And I think we mentioned this before a little bit, but yeah, I think like the manufacturing costs of like physical video games is going to get in the way. And they're going to try to encourage people to just do the downloads.
Well, the big problem
it's gotta be cheaper.
Well, the big problem is this. There's 2 problems I have with with digital. Well, but the reason why there's even discussion about physical is because of retail stores. That's the only reason why they have it is retail stores. It's like for because I bet you if it was up to them, they would want to do just digital because they wouldn't have to put. Bite the bullet for physical copies to give out to like Walmart's, Best Buys, and stuff like that. But the big thing I hate like where we're at right now in the climate of digital is that when you buy a digital code, you're not getting a discounted price. There's games that are still that's been out for years that are still $60, and it's like, and that's why I haven't really been 100% appealing to digital codes unless you get for consoles that is on Steam it's a different story. I mean, but for console game it's like you spend $60, it's $60. Like it won't. There's no trade in. There's no reduced value. There's nothing until you get that one special sale where it's like it drops it down in price. And I feel like it's still like I don't know. And it's hard for me to personally because it's like I don't buy. It's hard for me to buy at full price for anything. So
there's a few things. I
agree.
One you say 60. I mean, new games used to be 50.
Oh yeah.
Technically, if we go back further, but some games used to be $80 back in the day. But
they were worse.
Right. So I mean, there's that for one thing. Gosh, what was it?
But can you imagine buying
saying like $60 and $60 is gone? Like pulling up a system like this that's kind of closer to like a rental system could be appealing to more people because if you're paying X amount per year versus X amount for a subscription per year, you're probably going to go towards a subscription when it like is valuable enough,
There's another big issue with digital, and the biggest one, easily, especially in America, is our internet is garbage. Our internet is not that good. There's many states that can't get more than 20 megabyte downloads, and there's also going to be the limit of how many gigabytes you could download a month. There's limitations. Some of these games, like Sea of Thieves, I think is like altogether like 100 and something for the 4K download. That would be like maybe the only thing someone could download, and it would take them a week or two to download said game. So like that's another big issue where like they can't get rid of physical. Physical still needs to be a thing. Yes, they're leaning towards it. Maybe I don't think this next gen is going to be the whole big digital. I mean, yes, they're going to go bigger, but I think maybe after that's where we're going to start seeing it once the internet gets better. Like I think just recently here in Arizona, we just recently got, I think last year, the gigabit, the gigabyte download. We haven't had that. We just got it.
That was like super new
spotty
out there. But
I have it. I have the 300 myself, but
I have like friends around the country, and like I've lived and I've traveled a bit around the country too, and I agree, like having to download something would be terrible. Like there was some very specific reasons why I didn't get into online games earlier. I had to rely on the console and not being connected to the internet.
Exactly.
Right. So I mean, it's cool. I mean, like I think overall, we kind of veered away from the thing, but I think this bundled with Xbox Gold with the Xbox Game Pass is probably the best. I mean, I have to admit though, even though I'm not a big Xbox fan, that this is a really good product for them to do. So like for them, I mean, it makes sense that you have to, if you have a console system, you have to do the online fee for Microsoft. And the cool thing about their servers with online with Microsoft for their Xbox is that everything goes through Microsoft servers. So it's not like that junk that happened on the PS2 or PS3. Where they had to depend on whoever had the game. They use their own servers, but like this is like so it's more sound, it's more solid, and then plus on top of that you get a library of games for an additional small fee of $14.99. That's always growing. So I mean, like you're saying, like when it's nominal or when it's ideal for you to do it, like this would be like if I had an Xbox system, I would probably do it this way personally because I don't care about the Xbox One's game titles for the most part. Everything I have is mostly on the PS4, So
I'm the exact same way. I played one game the past 2 years on my Xbox One, and it was a multi-platform game. The only reason I got it on there is because I have the Xbox One X, and I wanted the 4K beautifulness of the game. So
Oh yeah, see, exactly. So
only reason.
Yeah, I mean, then that's perfectly fine, So, but like, I don't know. So we'll see if that's real. If it's real, then that'll be awesome if it comes out. Because I think that's something that they definitely will need to, they should do, and and make it grow, So
yeah.
Oh God, I thought you were gonna say something. Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say, I just want to see them do the whole yearly bundle price thing. I want to see what that is at, because that's what I'm interested in. Because I haven't used it a lot, but Game Pass is convenient. Like I tried a little bit of Sea of Thieves with my cousin, and it was nice to be able to sign up for. They had a special I think a month or two ago where it was like Game Pass for $2 for 2 months or whatever. So I did it for the 2 months, and I downloaded a bunch of games and I played a little bit. I'm like, this is really cool. I wouldn't be against this if there was better price, a bundle. Like if it's just a little bit more than what I'm paying a year for Xbox Live, why not?
Right. So that's cool. Yeah. Well, good discussions.
Yeah, I hope they make it something that's unlike Nintendo. I don't think you really get your money's worth a lot of the time with Xbox. I haven't bought the systems. There's not enough stuff.
It's their exclusives that are a disappointment. I mean, that's going to change.
Exactly.
That's going to change soon, though. They bought so many good companies, and like you said, Ninja Theory being the top tier one on my list from what they picked up. I think next generation is going to be a different game for Xbox. But as of right now, they got occasional Halo game once in a while and Gears of War.
Well, the biggest problem.
Yeah. See, I agree. It's I hope next time they do better because they haven't yet done good enough for me.
Okay, they had the chance to have good proprietary good first parties. It's just that come on, whoever, I forgot the name of the studio that did Fable. And stuff like that,
right.
or
Lionhead Studios.
Yeah, Lionhead, which shut down,
yeah.
or even.
And I love that game. I played the beta; it was great.
And who forgot? And then what about Rare? I mean, Rare was there too forever, and then they had the chances. It's just that their focus wasn't about the gaming. That's just what it was. And then their focus was more about the bells and whistles. Because if we just go back in time to when the Xbox One first came out, they weren't focusing about gaming. So then when they were focusing about to make it like an all-in-one unit for your home, and that's where it really hurt when the PS4 said all these the bells and whistles, because until this year PS4 has been blasting on full solid when they came about gaming. So so now they know their mistake, and now they're going to fix it, and that's where it comes down to.
It didn't help that they also had the more expensive system that was less powerful that came with a Kinect that was used for 6 games.
Yeah, they went all in on the
they shot themselves in the head there.
Right. All right.
I mean, I hope they do with the digital for them. It would be interesting to see them really take hold of doing exclusively only downloadable or very limited actual boxed games. Yeah, that'd be really interesting to see. I think we could be there one day, but it'd be we'd have to wait for the entire internet capability revolution that America still needs to have for that to happen, I think.
Okie doke. Okay, so all right, now we're at 55. So we are good to stop this. The nice discussions, folks. I really appreciate y'all taking y'all's time checking to do this as always. You can always check out Sesh's stuff at Review Sesh on Twitch. You can also check out super_Franky on his Twitch for mostly Overwatch usually, right? And,
it was Overwatch. I haven't gone on it lately, but I plan. If there's nothing there, I'm sorry. Soon enough, I'll be adding more to it. But
yeah, and always, you can check us out for a variety of different games on CFG Games, and check our website out, confreaksandgeeks.com, with some more information and more of the latest gaming news and so on. And like I said, if you have a topic that you want us to discuss, you should definitely tweet us at The Comic Freak on Twitter. We'll take a look at it, and we'll choose it. If it's a good discussion, we'll choose it, and then we'll discuss it on the podcast in the next show. So this is Davis signing off. Sesh and Franky, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
I appreciate it. Anytime, man. I'm always here for you.
All right. And y'all take it easy.